And back again is Mike Ferry. It is the week of October 24th. Time is running out. You got to get clear on that. When I say time is running out, September to remember. You participated hopefully in building a great fourth quarter for yourself. And if you remember what we talked about, it was by having a great fourth quarter, you would then have a great January, February cash flow. You'd have a better chance of paying your taxes in April. You're going to have closings taking place because of the work you're doing. Are you doing the work in October that is going to set you up for a great November, December, a great Christmas, a great holiday for your family? Okay. We are still in the Diplomat Hotel. I'm recording a couple weeks in advance, as you probably figured out. I have the same suit and tie on as I had on last week because I'm recording a couple of our weekly meetings, Mike Ferry TVs, with you as we are together. I want to continue on these thoughts that I started expressing last week on how to develop personal power. Because I've had a lot of response to this. As I did the tour throughout the entire East Coast, I would talk about the fact that you got to be stronger. You got to be more direct. You have to be more familiar with your scripts, your dialogues. You have to be better at your personal presentation of yourself to create the power required to get people to respond in a positive manner. So last week I gave you 5 or 6 thoughts on developing personal power. I want to give you some more today, and then next week we'll have a new fun topic for you to work with. Okay, personal power. Standing up straight, sitting up straight. Why? Because it creates a power position. You know, they don't want to see somebody slumping in the chair that is speaking in a monotone, that is not real excited. You know, it goes back to that same old thought. We used to do this in the productivity school all the time. Put the hand in the telephone position and then lean down on your desk, lean down on your knee, and be excited. You can't be. But if you stand up, the natural energy, the natural flow, and the straighter you stand and the more erect you are sitting in a chair, the more the people have a tendency to respect what you have to do. See, what you have to understand about personal power, it's not always the big things that make a big difference. It's the little things we build on that make a big difference. I wrote down next, okay? By listening to what they're actually saying to you versus listening so you can respond to what they've said to you. It's a very hard thing to do. Listening to what they're saying to you. Are you really listening, or are you waiting for them to answer so you can ask the next question, or so you can say what you have to say? You see, if you really want to create great personal power, listen to what they're saying so you can respond in a positive, professional, business-like sales manner. Too often, we read the question, when do you plan on moving? I hope they give me the right answer. And how long you lived at this address? Hope they give me the right answer. See, we're not paying attention to the answers. You create power when you focus on the client. You focus on the client, you create power, which leads to my next point. Look them in the eye to create personal power. I'm always amazed. I'm doing a seminar, a workshop, a retreat, and people walk up and they say, can I ask you a question? I say, of course. You know, Mike, what I want to ask you is, whoa, stop, look at me. And I do this to people. They go, what? Look at me. You're talking to me. You can't sit with a seller and be looking up at the roof and looking at the chandelier and looking around the room. Look them in the eye if you want to create power, because if you ask a question, you look them in the eye, you're going to get more likely a truthful answer to the question that you've asked. You want honest answers from buyers and sellers. You want a positive response. You want to hear what they have to say so you can respond appropriately. One way to make that happen, listen to what they're saying, look them in the eye, and you'll know exactly what you've been told. And then I wrote down next, give them a direct, straightforward answer to their questions. Mike, will you consider cutting your commission? No. Any other questions? They go, what? Well, I think I said no. Did you not hear me say no? Any other questions? That's a direct, straightforward answer. Can you sell my home in a couple of days? Absolutely not. Well, why not? Because you're pricing it to sell 3 months from now. Give them a straightforward answer. I don't understand this beating around the bush and trying to pamper them with your answers. They're hiring a professional salesperson. They want you to be strong, efficient, effective, direct, straight to the point. They want a professional. You don't want to go to a doctor and you say to the doctor, well, can you cure this problem? Well, you know, I'm going to give it a shot. I'll do the best I can. You don't want a doctor like that. You want a doctor that says, listen, based on your lifestyle, unless you change it, you're going to have a bigger problem in the future than you've had today. That's what you want to hear. Give them a direct, straight answer to get the highest response and create the personal power. Then I wrote down, you'll love the next one, be well practiced. Be well practiced so you can present with strength and authority. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I have some questions, that I kind of worked on about, how to help you get the home sold. Now, do you actually think that creates any power whatsoever? The answer is no. You create the power by being very forceful in what you say. You create the power by being very direct in what you say. So then I wrote down next, never back down from their objections or questions. Don't be afraid to confront them when something is not going your way. They're going to pay you tens of thousands of dollars to handle the biggest investment of their life. Give them an honest answer. Be direct. Don't back down. Because see, if you back down, then they have the power. I'll never forget this. I'm on a listing presentation. Now, granted, I will tell everybody it was 100 years ago, okay? And I'm on this listing presentation, and all of a sudden the seller stands up, the man, and he starts pointing and saying, this is exactly what I expect to have done. And I stopped him. I said, you know what? I need to ask you a question. He goes, what is it? Are you going to pay me a commission to get your home sold, or am I going to pay you a commission for the rights to sell your home? He said, what do you mean? I said, it's not complicated. His name was Mel. Mel, am I paying you a commission or are you paying me? Well, I'll be paying you. I said, then sit down and listen to what I have to say. And his wife looked at him and said, Mel, sit down. Well, somebody has to be in charge. Somebody has to be in control. In this case, you can't back down because they give you an objection or ask you a question. I wrote down the next way to create personal power. Tell them the truth and don't be afraid of the outcome. I've been saying that to you guys and gals for 40 years? Tell them the truth and don't be afraid of the outcome. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. There's no breaking even. So I ask questions like this of people like yourself. What do you get paid for getting second place on a listing presentation? The answer is 0. Okay? So therefore, tell them the truth. Can you get the home sold at my price? No, I cannot. Well, why not? Because your price is 20% over the market. And you have to understand that. Well, the agent last night said they could sell at this price. Well, then why didn't you list with them? Well, because we didn't think they could sell the home. Do you think I can sell the home? Yes, we do. Then list it at the price that will cause it to sell. So watch the last point on developing personal power, and maybe the hardest one that I'll ask all of you to participate with and participate in. Don't be afraid to stand up halfway through your presentation, smile at them, shake their hand, end the presentation, and walk out of the house. What do you mean, Mike? Don't be afraid to stand up and walk out without the listing. See, personal power says that you're in charge, you're in control. Personal power says that you have the right to walk away. Personal power says you have the right to say to yourself, you know what, I can't list this property. It makes no sense. These people are a complete pain in the neck. I don't want to deal with them for the next 3-6 months. I am going to leave now when I have the chance and get up and walk away. How many times has an agent listed a piece of property and regretted every single minute and every moment during that 3-6 month period of time? Happens every day. And it's because we don't have enough chances, we don't have enough opportunities, we didn't take control, we don't have any personal power. So on day 1 of the retreat 2 weeks ago, I spent on Tuesday morning from 9 to noon going through all these different thoughts on personal power, how to develop the entrepreneurial spirit to become a great listing agent, how to go out and build a great business. I asked each person in 2017, do you want to take 3 listings a month, 6 a month, 9 a month, 12 a month, 15 a month? How many listings do you want to take? And what do you need to know to make that happen? What do you need to do differently? Think about that. Think about the personal power and ability to change how you think, how you act, and what you do. And let me tell you something, November, December is going to be great. I'm going to be here with you to make it happen. Talk to you next week.